All right, if you are considering moving to central Iowa, to the Des Moines Metro, there are a couple of things that you should know. First of all, it's very affordable. That's what we're talking about today, is the cost of living in Des Moines, Iowa in 2024. I'm going to go over what my wife and I spend on a regular basis and how we stack up against the other states. The other thing you need to know, and the reason I'm sitting outside with my boy Phil right now, is that there are just a few random amazing days in January, February, March that we get a break from horrible winter and get 50-degree weather, and it is just the best thing ever. So I'm going to reluctantly go inside now and go over all the details that can help you out and help you decide if Des Moines is a good place for you to live or not. And then I'm going to get back out here with Phil and go for a walk. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video. Iowa this year, actually, this freaking sucks, but we were bumped to the 8th most affordable state to live rather than 7th, which we were in 2022. Arkansas beat us out of all places, but anyways, it's really not that significant of a change. Still a very affordable place to live and do life. Today we're looking at 5 different categories. We are going to look at housing costs, daily expenses, the employment landscape, education and healthcare, and finally recreational activities. Across the board, our housing costs in Iowa are about 30% less than the country's average. The median home price in America last year, in 2023, was $360,000. The median home price in Des Moines last year, in 2023, was $275,000. That number is going to get higher as you get out into the suburbs around Des Moines proper, and then lower as you're in Des Moines proper itself. But obviously there are pockets in each that are more affordable and less affordable. We'll talk about that here in a second. Before we do, though, I want to touch on property taxes in Iowa. So we are very affordable when it comes to home prices, but we are not so affordable when it comes to property taxes. I'm not going to pretend to know why. Iowa has the 8th highest property taxes of any state in America. I know that there are a lot of economic factors that go into that, such as our income tax tends to be lower. We don't have tolls here in Iowa, but I honestly don't know why we are so high on that route compared to others. It's just important for you to know if you are considering a move here to Des Moines. Because unlike a $350,000 house here in the suburbs in Johnston, in my neck of the woods, for example, you're going to see property taxes right around $5,000. This house that I'm using for an example has property taxes at $5,150 per year. And if you're putting 10% down at a 6.75% interest rate, estimating $2,200 in home insurance that could be higher or lower, and no HOA dues, your monthly payments are going to be $2,786 roughly. Now, if these property taxes were at like $3,000, which is, I believe, where they would be in a state like Indiana that has lower property tax rates, your monthly payments would be lower to about $2,600 a month. So pretty significant impact on affordability, not like a crazy amount. Your property taxes are going to fluctuate quite a bit based on your county, city, school district, neighborhood, all sorts of different factors that affect your tax rate. I'm going to link a video up here to more info on property taxes in Iowa if you are curious about that, or if you're just bored, want something to fall asleep to. Okay, so as I was mentioning, there are so many different neighborhoods within the Des Moines Metro with different levels of affordability. Within Des Moines proper itself, outside of the suburbs, we have neighborhoods like south of Grand, which is going to be full of houses in like the 800,000 up to $1 million or 2.5 million like this one. These are houses that are older, just full of tons of character. They're normally very large on large lots, lots of mature trees there. A very popular high-end neighborhood in Des Moines. And now close to south of Grand, we also have neighborhoods like, I guess not super close, if you go just like 10 minutes north of here, we have neighborhoods like Beaverdale, also old, also with a ton of charms, but with houses that are smaller, much more affordable, like 200,000, 300,000, 300,000. And we can also look on like the southeast side of Des Moines. There's a good amount of new construction going on over here in the 300,000s, newer homes built in like the 2000s and beyond. And then Sherman Hill is also a really unique neighborhood with a ton of Victorian-style homes. A lot of these have carriage houses attached to their garage, and the zoning is such that you can run a business out of there if you want to. And then the suburbs all have neighborhoods and pockets like this as well. West Des Moines is one of our largest suburbs on the southwest side of Des Moines. There are neighborhoods in West Des Moines like Glen Oaks, which have houses $800,000 and up, and then like $400 HOA dues a month. It's a very prestigious neighborhood. There's a golf club there. It's gated. And then you also have neighborhoods like Quail Park, which have houses in the 1+ million, lots of mature trees, amazing lots, beautiful homes. And then just 5 minutes north of there, you have a very average neighborhood with houses in like the 300,000s. If you go a little bit east to Valley Junction, it is a historic part of West Des Moines. It's got an old downtown feel. Houses here are going to be anywhere from like 150,000 up to the high twos. So all across the board, again, Grimes, every suburb is similar. I'll go over Grimes really quick. The north part of Grimes has some very, very nice pockets. So like Bridge Creek is a very prestigious neighborhood in the north part of Grimes. There's nothing for sale there right now, but houses there are going to be valued at anywhere from like 800,000 up to 2 million and higher. And then there's a lot of new development going up in Grimes too, on the northern side with houses in the 600s to 700,000s. But also, Grimes has a ton of very affordable homes in the older part of the town, of the city suburb at this point. There are houses there that you can find anywhere from like 200, 375,000, so a wide range of affordability in all suburbs and all parts of the Des Moines metro. That is one of the great things about living here. Okay, moving on to daily expenses. I'm gonna go over what my wife and I spend on a regular basis. There's two of us and then our dog, Phil, on some of the variable expense categories that vary a lot by state that you live in. This is our budgeting app, Every Dollar. Shout out to Dave Ramsey. So for utilities, I'm just gonna lump water, gas and electric, and internet all together. We pay about $200, and I'm gonna do some quick math. $270 a month, roughly, for water, gas, electric, and internet. And that is in a 1,600 square foot by-attached condo in Johnston. On our groceries, we regularly spend about $600 a month. Eating out is around $200, at least we try to keep it to $200. And for gas, I drive a lot for work, so this is going to be a lot higher than most, I believe, but we end up paying about $250 to $260 a month for gas. I would consider my wife and I to live very frugally, and there's also just two of us right now, so it's easy to live on a budget and still be able to buy the food, like good fresh produce that we want to get. But if you are looking for ways to save money on things like groceries and gas and haircuts in central Iowa, I've got 3 tips for you to do that. First of all, get your groceries at Aldi. I know Aldi doesn't have everything, but get almost everything you can there, and then go to Hy-Vee to fill in the gaps, or Fairway or Walmart or Target, whatever you want to do. Second will be to get your gas at Costco. It is a lot cheaper if you live close to one of the 2 Costcos we have in the metro. Third, get your haircut at Fade 2 Scissors. Shout out to Joyce. Joyce is the best barber in the area. She is amazing. She charges, I think, $24, either $24 or $26 a cut, which is cheaper than you can do at like Sports Clips. Plus you have Joyce every time, and you're getting a great person and a great haircut for an amazing price. Shameless plug, Joyce is not paying me one bit to promote her business on this video. I just think she's that good. All right, moving on to the employment landscape in Des Moines, Iowa. We have a nationally renowned pro-business environment here in Des Moines, and our cost of doing business is about 17% cheaper than it is on average in the country. So it's a very popular place for businesses to come and set up shop. Our GDP and job opportunities are outpacing almost every other similar sized city in the Midwest, which is pretty cool. And some of the major industries we have here are going to be ag innovation, places like Corteva, data centers, so like Google and Facebook have both set up large hubs here, so has Amazon, because they've realized the benefits of having that affordable cost of doing business in a location like central Iowa. Logistics, we are right at the intersections of I-80 and I-35, meaning that we are a prime location for logistics companies. And then insurance and financial services. And then insurance and financial services too. We are home to 80 different insurance companies, which is the highest concentration of anywhere in the nation. One of the reasons why the cost of doing business here in central Iowa is much more affordable than the rest of the country is because the wages are not as high as they need to be to support cost of living in more expensive areas like California, Florida. I was in Florida a few weeks ago, and the grocery prices there were just insane. I could not believe how expensive they were. It was like $8 for a family-sized box of Frosted Mini Wheats, and maybe I was at a more expensive store in Florida, but still, that is just insane. I think I paid like $4 for my last box of Frosted Mini Wheats that I bought here in Iowa. Across the board, you can expect salaries in Des Moines to be about 3% less than the national average, but with a cost of living that's like 10% less than the national average, that's pretty good. That's a good quality of life that you can have here, even though you're getting paid a tiny bit less than you would in a place where the cost of living is much higher. When it comes to education and healthcare, For education, I'm going to touch on that first. We have an amazing education system in Iowa. Des Moines is home to 3 schools that are ranked in the top 2,000 of schools across the nation. That would be Ankeny, Johnston, and West Des Moines. And a lot of our other schools are very, very highly regarded as well. Thinking like Waukee, Carlisle, Dallas Center, Grimes. We have very good school systems. In addition to that, there's private schools. If you are interested in a private school, it's going to vary. The cost of it is going to vary a lot depending on which private school you choose. But I would say plan to pay anywhere from like $4,500 for a school year up to $12,000 per kid. And then when it comes to our busing costs, there are different rules depending on which school district you live in. But if you live outside of the regular busing zone, that cost is going to run like $300 to $700 per year per kid for a round trip busing service. Okay, and then I just want to touch on healthcare quick. My thoughts on healthcare are that I don't understand health insurance. As a full-grown adult, I have no idea, or it feels like a lot of the time, I have no idea how health insurance works. I should really get an insurance guy on this channel to explain that, and if there are any differences in Iowa between here and other states. I did a quick Google search, and I couldn't really find much. I'm not going to even touch on that because I don't know how reliable that data is. But if you are curious about cost of health insurance and healthcare here, I know a few insurance providers in the area who I would be happy to get you connected with. Shoot me a message or a text if you would like me to do that. All right, last topic is recreational expenses, having fun. There are a lot of ways, a lot of recreational things you can do in the Des Moines area for fun, for free. We've got really good biking trails, lots of parks you can go and hike at for free. The landscape here in Iowa, no, is not as interesting or fun as it would be hiking in Montana in the mountains, but it's still something that you can do on a regular basis because there is plenty of space to do it. We also have a lot of cultural events. My wife and I went to one downtown Des Moines like 4 or 5 weeks ago. It was a German Christmas festival. It was tons of fun. It was free to get into. And then when we were there, we spent about $40 on food and drink. That's just to give you an idea of what you can expect at those cultural events. We also have a ton of local restaurants. That's one of my favorite things to do for fun. You can go eat at Bebop's for $15 for a meal for 2. Bebop's is a local like McDonald's sort of, just a great fast food restaurant. Or you can go to some place that's middle of the road, something like Mi Patria, Ecuadorian food, Rolling Walk, which is Asian cuisine, and Flame Taqueria. Those are like my wife and I's 3 most frequented restaurants, and we probably spend anywhere from $40 to $50, including tip, when we go eat at one of those. And there are always restaurants where you can spend more than that too, but for a good quality sit-down meal with a tip, I would say plan for $50 for 2 people. Then if you're going someplace where you don't have to tip, that's more of a fast food joint like Bebop's, $15, up to like Jason's Deli. We spend about $26 on my wife and I, the 2 of us, when we go there for dinner. One of my other favorite things to do in the area is to visit all the local coffee shops and breweries. We have some fantastic ones around here, and the costs are pretty typical for what you would find in other parts of the Midwest. For a glass of beer, you can expect like around $8, and then for a latte, maybe like $6 to $7, a cup of coffee, $4. Pretty comparable prices. All right, I know we went through these topics pretty quick. We didn't get into too much detail on any one of them. So if you have any specific questions for me, or if there's anything at all I can do for you within reason, of course, I get calls from people all the time, moving to Des Moines, moving around within Des Moines, and I absolutely love it. So if there's anything I can do to help you, please reach out. I would be so glad to hear from you. I'd be so glad to hear from you. And if you're still considering a move to Des Moines and aren't ready to give me a call just yet, I have a plenty of other videos just like this on my YouTube channel. Feel free to check those out to hopefully make that decision more informed and more confident for you. I'll see you guys in the next one.